I'm Tej. I'm director of Jaga Startup. I used to be a startup at Jaga, fell in love with the concept of a co-working space that worked for its members. And when I decided to take a sabbatical from my startup, I joined the team, eventually became director, and started helping startups in the community. What I'll say is, we always assumed that we were very, very good at connecting members. Until after the first session, I spoke to a few members. And they told me about the number of people they'd met for the first time and the different experiences they've had. People discovered neighbors they never knew they had. People discovered they actually had similar interests. Like we found a group which likes traveling and they started discussing travel plans. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll go away traveling together, but they've discovered common passions. So this goes so far beyond anything that we even envisaged for where they'll connect. Because when we try and connect startups, we try and connect them on skills. This connects them at a human level. And I think that lasts a lot longer than transactional skill based associations. Host2Transform will or has already impacted a lot in how we look at facilitation. To the extent that we want our employees and myself trained to be better facilitators. Because we are in the space we are, we do tend to see at least one new startup every month and a few new employees every month. So that attrition ensures that we have to be on our toes and integrate them into the community. Because what we realize is that just having a common space, a common kitchen or a common lounge doesn't bring people together. There has to be a bit more than that, and that's what I feel Host2Transform brings to the picture. So Host2Transform, I don't feel is a region specific thing. The reason I say that is what the session focuses on and what the people are focused on are more fundamental human values. Of connections, we are all social creatures. We want to feel a connection to a fellow human being, and that's what it most importantly emerges, right? Even the session that we've had, people are from all over the world. There are Europeans, there are Americans, there are Indians from all over the country. And if all of these people can connect to each other, I think it proves that it's not a region-specific phenomenon. As for corporates, there are existing sessions that some corporates conduct to varying degrees of success, but they look upon it as once-a-year team-building exercises. I feel the essence of Host2Transform lies in the regularity of it, in the fact that it's ingrained as part of your schedule, where you do meet new people in your community, or you go back to people you've already met and say, hey, you talked about this last time, how is that going on, working out for you? And the regularity of it actually brings a different essence and a different ethos to the session, which is not possible in a once-a-year team-building exercise. So yes, I think it would work really well in a corporate setting as well. I do feel it's not a set format. As in the first session was very different to the second session, for instance. And I think people will find their own patterns which are relevant to the specific context of which they're in. Probably the energize is a bit longer. Probably the introduction, as in the one-to-one meetings are a bit longer, whatever it is. And I think it also can preface events. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a context-specific thing where it's co-working spaces and or people working together. I want our event manager to be trained in it, because before events where there are strangers at one event, I want the session like this. It doesn't necessarily have to be 15 minutes or 20 minutes, it can be a 10-minute energize. How would Jaga look like a year from now? Yeah. That's a bit more difficult to answer. I hope it's a happy place, because that's the first and most important objective. People are chasing dreams. Right? While you're chasing your dreams, there will be times when you're really down, and there are times when you're really ecstatic. And when you look upon it as a community and you share those ecstatic moments with other people, people who are really feeling down actually also become a little bit ecstatic. They feel happiness for their co-workers. And I think it's in those happy moments, and we share those happy moments, that true bonds emerge. Right? So even if a startup fails, they still become part of the community, and they still become part of like other people's lives because they've shared those moments with them. So assuming the events happen weekly or fortnightly or whenever they happen, what I want to see in a year's time is that these are happening regularly. These are not always initiated by us, that the startups are coming up and initiating them. Startups are doing it for themselves as much as for us. And the tradition lives on, because what at Jaga we believe most in is culture. And that's what we want to survive. We would love to meet other community managers. To be perfectly honest, it's a thought which always exists in your head. We're not competing with them. I don't think any of the co-working spaces are necessarily competing with each other. The cultures are different, the domains are different. So we should really be collaborating. Unfortunately, time constraints and like the facilitation aspects and so on ensure that we don't actually collaborate. Again, as we found out through the Host2Transform session itself, bringing people together in one space is when you actually discover more about each other. If you ask me why is someone else doing a co-working space, I wouldn't know the answer to that. And if you ask them, they wouldn't know the answer why we are doing it. And once we start discussing it, yeah, I think beautiful synergies will emerge. Well, people who are watching, thanks for bearing with me. What I would say is like we've really enjoyed the sessions. More importantly, our community members have really enjoyed the session. Then we did the second session based on feedback from the community members. We went, spoke to them. They really loved it. There was an entire team basically which posted about it on their Facebook page. They really felt connected to their co-workers and to other people in the community. Since then, I've actually had more people come back and give me feedback on events in the space, which didn't happen before that. Suddenly they feel empowered to be able to do that. So go ahead and do it and unlock the potential.